I'm sure most people have seen ChatGPT's incredible image generator by now. I have been really impressed with how it can create characters, consistent characters, and also how it tells stories with these characters. So I'll just quickly show you my method and some tips and tricks. So for this example, I've just put a very simple prompt in. So I've asked it to make a young male character wearing casual clothing and a red baseball cap, then a full body posed, relaxed standing in a Disney cartoon style, and I'm really happy with the image that it created. And then from there, you can create different poses of that character. So I just copy in that image into the prompt box and ask it to create different poses with different expressions. And here you can see it made a mistake, it cut off the character, so this is where you can actually prompt it again and say, can you make sure they are all in the image? And I even asked it to have a 16:9 aspect ratio. And it created this image with 3 different poses. It did exactly what I asked it for, and they all look consistent. Then you can go further and create different facial emotions as well. So I just asked for it to create an emotion sheet for this character, and it did an awesome job. So now I want to test putting this character into a story. So I'm actually going to prompt it to create a story for me, and then I'll generate the images for this story containing this character. The story is just about this character looking for his lost dog. This is generated by ChatGPT, but you can easily add your own story into ChatGPT and put this custom-made character into the story. As you can see, it's generated 6 different scenes with a description on what happens. So my method is I prompt it with create an image in 16:9 aspect ratio, and then I just copy and paste in that first scene. And it will create an image based on what's happening in the scene with that character that we made at the start. And it's created this awesome looking image of the character looking for his dog. The character consistency is pretty spot on. And it's done a really good job at putting the emotion into the character. So what I usually do is copy this same technique across each scene, and you should have a cohesive story with a consistent character. And then to top it off, you can create a poster for your story. So here you can see I've prompted it to create a poster, and it's done an exceptional job at making a professional looking poster, and it looks like it was made by a pro graphic designer. I actually did the same process, but this time using a different character. So I wanted a more realistic approach in this one, so I got ChatGPT to generate this character, and then went through the same process. I created different expressions and poses, and then prompted it to create a similar story of a man looking for his dog. And it created this really gritty story of a man on his journey to find his lost dog, and I'm pretty impressed with the results. And you may notice that the art style did subtly change from the first image, as this one looks a bit more realistic, and then the other ones look a bit more painterly. But you can edit these images, so if I wanted to edit this one, I want to change that first image into the same style as the second image. So I upload both of those images, and then I prompt it with make the image on the left in the same art style as the image on the right. And it's done a really good job at changing the style. Even though on this one I've noticed it's actually added the dog into the shot, so I'm just going to edit that out. I even tested it with a character that I drew on a piece of paper, so as you can see it's a very simple alien-like character, and then I uploaded it into ChatGPT, and then I asked it to create a story based on this character, and the story should be told over 6 different scenes, each with images. And then it made its own story with my very simple custom-made character, and even kept the art style of that simple line drawing. It creates this nice simple story, but I think it has some charm to it. And then you just say to create each scene one by one, and it keeps that consistent style throughout. I even wanted to change this image to have the emerald to be green. So I said, can you turn the crystal green, keep the rest of the image the same? And it did it perfectly. So it is incredibly powerful at changing parts of your image if you need to edit it. And as you can see, all of the rest of the scenes look the same style as the original image. And it tells a very simple story that I think could work inside a children's book. Now let's have a look at changing the pose of your character. You can either use a text prompt in ChatGPT to change the pose of your character, or you can use this website, which is posemy.art. So in this website, it allows you to use custom models and modify them into any pose that you want. You can then save this as a screenshot, then upload the image of the pose and ask it to create the character in that pose. And it does a fantastic job at creating the character in that pose. I even tested it with an image of myself, and I was blown away with how accurate it came out. So definitely try these methods if you want to get your characters into different poses. So now I'm going to take one of these stories and animate it. You can use any AI image to video generator, but for this example I'm going to be using Luma's Dream Machine, as I really like the results that it gives. Luma is extremely easy to use. All you have to do is drag in your image, then you can add a prompt, or what I like to do is add one of their custom camera presets, which ends up creating a really nice animation from that image. So I did this for each image and I stitched it together. The music was generated with Udio, and I generated the voiceover in 11 Labs.
In the quiet of dawn, Max stood alone, ready to chase the unknown for his best friend. Deeper into the forest, Max follows the trail, and his courage is put to the test. Through the mist, Max discovers a glowing cave, where ancient whispers guide the brave toward what's lost. In the heart of the cave, moonlight and magic reunite two best friends and lights the way home. Max and Rust finally find peace together, and they are ready for whatever comes next.
I am really happy with how it turned out. And I think with ChatGPT and an AI video generator, you can do some incredible storytelling, and I can't wait to keep testing it and finding out new ways on how to use it. And you can definitely explore with different styles. So as you can see here, I've created loads of different styles of this same character. And all you have to do is keep prompting ChatGPT to change the style of the character. So I've just put in the image and said create her in Cubism style, and it does exactly that. Then you can say create her in South Park style, and it does it perfectly. And here's a Rick and Morty style, here's a Simpsons style, and you get the picture. You can change it to whatever style you feel like, all within ChatGPT, which is incredibly powerful. You can also do some really cool things like create your own comics. So I generated this image of this very unique looking character, then I prompted it with create a comic strip about this character making a cup of coffee. And it created this comic panel, which I was really impressed with. It's managed to keep the character consistent throughout, and has a really nice look to it, even adding in really professional looking boxes around the images and readable text. So this is definitely a fun thing to test out. Here's another example on how to make a comic strip, but this one has a bit more detail in it. So I prompted it to have 6 panels, and I gave it a description of what should be in each panel. And you can also prompt it to leave space for notes below. And I've gotta say, the result is pretty good. It's added the title, and it's given the comic the pencil sketch style that I prompted it with. And you can also see the notes box below, which was also in the prompt. It does add some weird text here, but you could easily edit this out. Now let's have a quick look at the pricing for ChatGPT. So the good thing is they do have a free plan, and you do get limited access to some of their models, so you can test it out. But if you want to get the most out of it, I would definitely recommend the Plus subscription, which is $20 a month. And if you want to try Luma AI's Dream Machine, they do have a free option so you can test it out. Or if you want to get more out of it, you can go for the $10 a month Lite plan or the $30 a month Plus plan. The link is down below if you want to check that out. If you have any tips or tricks on how to use ChatGPT's image generator to get consistent characters, then please leave a comment down below. It would be awesome if you could like this video and subscribe, and if you would like to check out any of our other videos, then feel free to click the image you can see on screen. Thanks for watching.